could be helpful if you have 2 blocks that are handy to place those blocks at the top of your mat. If not, no worries, just maybe to have them there. And then one more thing before we get started, because the first time around my back is going to be to you, so I just want to show you. We're going to take some windmill-ish pendulum arms today in reverse warrior and extended side angle. So we're going to be reaching our back arm forward on reverse warrior, and then we'll be reaching our front arm back. So just keep that in mind. Just wanted to show you that because you won't really be able to see me on that first round. And that being said, let's get started. We are going to start in Sukhasana, so come on down, find an easy seat. If you do have a block close by and you'd like to sit on the block, go for it. Create as much ease in your body as you can. Rest your hands on your thighs, relax your shoulders away from your ears. As your sit bones get heavier, let your spine get a little lighter, growing all the way up through your neck and out the top of your head. Relax your face. Soften your eyes even more. And with your eyes closed, your vision turned off, I want you to amplify your inner ear. Begin to listen. Listen to your body. Listen to your heart. Listen to your mind. And perhaps the information you gather from listening helps you set your intention for today's flow. It might be something you're working on or moving through, or maybe it's as simple as just feeling good. Observe. Listen, be present for yourself, and just take a moment to find that intention. Take one more big breath in. And on an exhale, bow your forehead to your heart. From here, keep your chin tucked. Inhale your head to the right. So roll your head about a quarter head roll around to the right. Right ear comes towards your right shoulder. And on an exhale, let it roll back to center. Same thing, left. Inhale, roll, quarter head roll to the left. Left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, back to center. A couple more times. Inhale, roll to the right. Exhale, center. Inhale, roll to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale, roll to the right. Exhale, center. Inhale, roll to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale, lift your chin, interlace your fingers. Now, as you work your arms overhead, feel free to move around. So take your time. You might rock side to side. You might roll out or stretch between your ribs, your neck, your head. Take whatever feels good. And maybe in the next 3 or so breaths, we'll meet up in center with a vertical spine, reaching those arms straight up towards the sky. No rush, but once you arrive, really root down through those sit bones again. Lengthen through your sideways, stretch your arms, press your palms up, but soften your shoulders down. 3 breaths. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take one more full breath in. On an exhale, release your arms, interlace your hands behind you. Inhale, chest expansion, drive your knuckles down, poke your heart to the ceiling. You might be able to find a little arch in your lower back as you lift your heart high. 2 breaths, inhale, exhale. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, fold forward, release your arms, let them drape forward over your legs. Soft elbows, soft neck and head. Big breath in. Big breath out. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Walk your hands back in. Take your time. Meet me on all fours. You can roll over your shins. You can swing your legs around. Take what you need. Bring your hands under your shoulders and spread your fingers wide. Bring your knees underneath your hips and stay on the tops of your feet. So toes are untucked to start. I want you to push into your hands, zip your belly in, and just hover your right knee off the floor. Flex your right foot. Take a full breath in. On an exhale, fire hydrant that right leg out to the right. Push into your bottom knee a little more. Try not to swing your hips out to the left, but keep those hips stacked over that left knee. Push into your hands a little more. Take another breath in. Exhale back to that hovered knee. 4 more. Inhale, fire hydrant out. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up and down. Last 2 and down. Last 1. Lift and hold for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, release. Come back to center. Hover that left knee off the floor just a little so you can flex that left foot. Push into your hands, zip your belly in. Take an inhale here. Exhale, fire hydrant that left leg out. Pause. Push into that right knee a little more. Try not to sway your hips off to the right. Push into your left hand a little more. Take another breath in. Exhale back down into that hover. 4 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last 1. Lift and hold for 10, 9, 8, push into that right knee. 7, 6, push into your hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, release. Back to all fours. Walk your hands forward just an inch or so. We'll make big circles to release. Send your weight forward towards your fingers, over to the right, and then back towards your heels and around to the left. Just circle it out as small or big as you'd like. Let your neck and head respond naturally. You might even close your eyes and just make it feel good. Don't worry about what it actually looks like. We'll take 1 or 2 more circles around to the right. And once you finish up those circles, reverse and take a couple to the left. Mobilizing your hips, stretching out those wrists a little bit. Couple more rounds to the left. Finish up those last 1 or 2 circles. And when you do, meet me back on all fours. Tuck your toes. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Give your legs a little pedal. Start to find some length behind your knees. Create space in your shoulders, between your ears and your shoulders. Long, easy neck. On an inhale, rise high on your toes. On an exhale, pivot your heels to the right and melt them to the floor. Push into your hands, lift your hips a little higher. Take a full breath into that left side waist. Melt your heels to the floor even more as you exhale. Inhale back to center, rise high on your toes. Exhale, pivot your heels to the left and let them ground towards the floor. Push into your hands, lift your hips. Take a big inhale into your right side body. Drop into those heels a little more as you exhale. Inhale, pivot back to center, rise high in your toes. On an exhale, melt your heels to the floor. Open your feet mat width apart, wide legs. Gaze between your hands, that space right between your hands. Bring your right hand into that space and then slide that hand back about an inch or two. Push into your right hand. Bring your left hand to the outside of your right calf. Gaze underneath your right shoulder. Keep your hips lifting, your heels dropping. Stay for a full inhale. And as you exhale, swap out your arms. Left hand replaces right. Right hand grabs the outside of your left calf. Turn and look under that left shoulder. Push into your left hand, lift your hips, take a full breath in. Melt your heels down even more as you exhale. Release back into down dog, hands shoulder width apart, feet hip width apart. And on an inhale, roll forward to plank position. We're here for 5 breaths. Inhale, lengthen out the top of your head. Exhale, 1, reach out those heels. Inhale, push the floor away with your hands. Exhale, 2, especially your inner hands, thumb and index fingers. Inhale. Exhale, 3, building heat, building strength. Inhale. Exhale, 4, keep your tailbone tucking towards your heels. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. And as you exhale, lower to forearm plank. Spread your fingers wide. 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, reach out the top of your head. Inhale. Exhale, reach out your heels. Inhale. Exhale, 3, push into your arms, zip your belly in. Inhale. Exhale, 4, tuck your tailbone towards your heels. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, Sphinx pose, lower your hips to the floor. Untuck your toes. Walk your elbows forward just a little bit. Imagine here that you could drag your hips to your elbows. At the same time, imagine you could pull your elbows towards the back of your mat. Spin your pinky toenails down towards the floor to widen across your back. Inhale, draw your heart forward and up. Stay there as you exhale. Listen closely. I want you to bend your right knee, bring your right heel towards your glutes. Good. And then scorpion dog that right leg until your right foot, the ball of your right foot lands on the floor behind your left leg. We're coming into a forearm wild thing. On an inhale, push into that bottom arm, lift your hips, reach your right arm all the way to the front of your space. Yes. Push into your right toes, lift your heart to the ceiling. Take a full breath in. Exhale, back to Sphinx pose, hips down, right arm down, square off. Now you know where we're going, left side. Bend that left knee, bring your left heel to your tush, and then scorpion dog that left leg until the ball of your left foot lands to the floor behind your right leg. Push into that bottom arm, inhale, forearm wild thing, lift your hips, reach your left arm to the front of your space. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Press your hips high. Push more into those left toes. Open your heart. Take a full breath in. Exhale, back to Sphinx pose. From here, as you lower your chest to the floor, slide your hands back and plant your palms flat. Tuck your toes under. Engage your legs so much that your knees lift off the floor. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, press up to plank. And right back to downward dog. Pedal out those legs and walk your feet to your hands. Take your time. Once you arrive at the top of your mat, open your feet hip width apart. You can measure 2 fist distance. Brighten up your feet. Spread your toes. Lift your arches. Soften your knees and grab hold of opposite elbows. I want you to soften your left knee. Think of pulling your right elbow towards the front of your space as you gaze under your right shoulder. So just a little twist. Push a little more into that right heel. And then come back through center. Other side, soften that right knee. Pull your left elbow towards the center of the top of your mat. Look underneath that left shoulder. And come back to center. And maybe take that a couple more times if that feels good in your body. Gazing underneath your shoulders. Finding an easy twist. Otherwise, as you listen and gather information, figure out what you need, follow that. This is for you. Setting that intention to listen to your body, your heart, your mind, and follow that path. Even out those twists. If you're taking those twists, make your way back to center when you have. When you're ready, release your arms, soften your knees, and unroll all the way up to stand. Once you arrive, take a couple shoulder rolls back. Step your feet together at the top of your mat, hands to heart center. Again, listen, observe, respond with compassion and kindness. Bow your forehead to your hands. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, sweep your arms around and up, lift your heart, seal your palms. Exhale, fold forward, drop your head. Inhale either to your fingertips, or if you have blocks, feel free to use blocks underneath your hands. On an exhale, soften your left knee. Inhale, forward fold, twist, right arm to the sky. Exhale, release. Soften your right knee. Inhale, forward fold, twist, left arm to the sky. Exhale, release. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, press into your hands and feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay for a breath in. Stay for a breath out. Inhale, rise to toes, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale, half lift. Feel free to use those blocks whenever you'd like to. Exhale, fold and let it go. Inhale, sweep your arms around and up. Press your palms. Exhale, fold right back over your legs. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, soften just your left knee. Inhale, right arm to the sky, forward fold, twist. Exhale, release. Soften your right knee. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, release. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, step or jump. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, rise to toes, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, fold, heavy head. Inhale, sweep your arms around and up. Press your palms. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, soften just your left knee. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Exhale, release. Soften your right knee. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, release. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, step or jump. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, stretch. Exhale, down dog, settle for 3 slow breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take 1 more breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Melt your left heel to the floor. Exhale, scorpion dog. Open your hip, bend your knee. Press into your hands evenly. Try and poke that right knee higher to the sky. Take a full breath in. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Round your spine, bring thigh to chest. Inhale back into that scorpion dog. Open your hip, bend your knee. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward. Inhale, scorpion dog. This time, exhale, knee to nose, and step your right foot between your hands. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, reach your arms around and up. Seal your palms, soften your shoulders. Exhale, hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, chest expansion. Let your knuckles slide down towards the back of your back knee as your heart puffs up to the ceiling. Keep bending through your front knee. Press your hips towards your front heel. Take a full breath in. Exhale, low lunge, hands to the floor. Lift your back knee. Option for blocks here. Inhale, supported warrior 3. Floating onto that right leg with square hips. Option to bring your hands on blocks if they're available. Spin your left hip down to face the floor. Reach out that lifted heel. Reach out the top of your head. Take a big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot next to right. Inhale, sit low. Utkatasana. Knees bend, heart lifts. Drag your weight into your heels. Scoop your tailbone forward. Get longer through your arms, but softer through your shoulders. Nice. Take one more breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, step or jump. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going with that right leg again. Inhale, lift your right leg back up to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot all the way up between your hands. Seal your back heel down. Inhale, cartwheel up. Warrior 2. Stay as you exhale, bend your front knee a little deeper. Right palm to the ceiling. Here are those pendulum arms. Inhale, reach back, reverse warrior. Let your back fingers reach forward towards your front knee. Exhale, extended side angle. Let those front fingers reach back towards your back toes. Again. Inhale, reverse warrior. Stretch those arms. Exhale, extended side angle. Press down and out through your feet. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Last time, inhale, reverse warrior. Listen for the change. Exhale, warrior 2. Press into your feet. Inhale, stretch your right leg straight. Exhale, Trikonasana. Hip shift back. Lengthen your right side body. You can land your right hand to your shin. Maybe a block on the outside of that right foot. Or today, if you'd like to grab that right big toe in yogic toe lock, go for it. Draw your outer right hip back. Anchor more through your back foot. Let your tailbone reach towards your back heel as you lengthen out the top of your head. Half wrap that left arm behind you. Maybe those left fingers can grab your inner right thigh and help spin it towards the front of your space. Roll your left shoulder back and open. Stay for a breath in. Keep this shape. Exhale, gaze to the floor. Great place for a block underneath that right hand. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Glide onto that right foot. See if you can maintain that half bind to start. Reach out that lifted heel. Work your heart and gaze either to the side of the room or maybe to the ceiling. You can maintain this half wrap, or if you'd like, bend your top knee and catch that foot with your left hand. If this is you, kick foot to hand. Try and poke that left knee to the ceiling. Wherever you are, take another full breath in. Exhale, supported warrior 3, with or without blocks. This time, inhale right into Utkatasana, left foot down, bend your knees, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Let it go, nice. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, step or jump, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale your left leg to the sky. Melt your right heel to the floor. Exhale, scorpion dog. Open your hip, bend your knee. Press your hands evenly. Poke that left knee a little higher. Take another inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward. Rise high on the back toes so you can really round your spine. Inhale, back into scorpion dog. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. One more, inhale, scorpion dog. This time, exhale, knee to nose, and step your left foot between your hands. Drop your back knee. Inhale your arms around and up, palms press, shoulders soft. Exhale, hands behind you. See if you can interlace your fingers with the opposite finger on top. Inhale, chest expansion. Work those knuckles down towards the back of your back knee. Press your hips towards your front heel. Bend that front knee. Puff your heart to the sky. Take a full breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Hands down, lift your back knee. Option for blocks. Inhale, supported warrior 3. Glide onto that left leg. Reach out your back heel, reach out the top of your head. Make sure your hands or blocks are far enough forward so you can really lengthen your spine. Take a full breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, sit low. Squeeze your knees together, pull your belly in. Soften your shoulders, soften the tops of your thighs. Sit a little lower. Reach your fingers a little higher. Take one more breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, step or jump. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Push the floor away with your hands and feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going with that left leg again. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Seal your back heel down. Inhale, cartwheel up, warrior 2. On an exhale, bend that front knee a little deeper. Here come those arms, left palm to the ceiling. Inhale, reverse warrior, back fingers reach towards that front knee. Exhale, extended side angle, front fingers reach towards those back toes. Yes, again, inhale, reverse warrior, stretch those arms. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, press down and out through your feet. Exhale, extended side angle. Last time, inhale, reverse warrior, listen for the change. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, stretch your left leg straight. Exhale, Trikonasana, hand to shin, block, or maybe grab that left big toe in yogic toe lock. Draw your outer left hip back. It's okay if that right hip bone rolls down towards the floor a little bit. Spin your left ribs and heart to the ceiling. Let your tailbone anchor towards your back heel as you lengthen out the top of your head. And then work into that half bind. Right arm wraps behind you. Maybe those right fingers can help spin your inner left thigh to the front of the room. Roll your top shoulder back. Take a full breath in. Keep this shape. Exhale, gaze to the floor. Great place for a block under that left hand. Glide into Ardha Chandrasana. See if you can keep that half wrap. Roll that top shoulder open. Reach out that lifted heel. Maybe start to turn your heart and gaze to the side or the ceiling. You can keep this half wrap or bend your top knee and catch that foot with your right hand. If that's you, kick foot to hand. Poke that knee to the ceiling. Wherever you are, one more breath in. Exhale, supported warrior 3. Inhale right into Utkatasana, feet together, knees bent, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, step or jump. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay for a breath. That is our series. We're going to smooth it out and speed it up just a little bit. One more time, right and left. Listen to your body, your heart, your mind as you flow. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, scorpion dog. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward. Inhale, scorpion dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, scorpion dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your right foot forward. Drop your back knee. Inhale, arms around and up. Seal your palms. Exhale, hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. One big breath. Inhale, chest expansion. Exhale, low lunge. Hands down. Lift that back knee. Inhale, supported warrior 3. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, sit low. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward, seal your back heel down. Inhale, cartwheel up, warrior 2. Exhale, bend that front knee a little deeper. Here come those arms, right palm to the ceiling. Inhale, reverse warrior, pendulum those arms. Exhale, extended side angle, front fingers reach towards back toes. Again, inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Here's that change. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, right leg straight. Exhale, your version of triangle with that front hand, shin, block, big toe. As you exhale, open that left arm, wrap it around, half bind. Roll your left shoulder back. Take a full breath in this shape. Keep this shape. Exhale, gaze to the floor. With or without a block, Ardha Chandrasana. Glide onto that right leg. Maybe you keep this half wrap. Maybe you bend that top knee and catch your foot. Wherever you are, full breath in. Exhale, supported warrior 3. Inhale, Utkatasana, feet together, knees bent. Lift your heart, sit low. Exhale, forward fold, flush it out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, scorpion dog. Take a full breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, scorpion dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, scorpion dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your left foot forward, drop your back knee. Inhale, arms around and up, press your palms. Exhale, hands behind you, maybe with the opposite grip, interlace those fingers. One big breath, inhale, chest expansion, beautiful. Exhale, low lunge, hands down, lift that back knee. With or without blocks, inhale, supported warrior 3. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Seal your back heel down. Inhale, cartwheel up, warrior 2. Exhale, bend that front knee a little deeper. Here come those arms, left palm to the ceiling. Inhale, reach back, back arm reaches forward. Exhale, extended side angle, front arm reaches back. Good. Inhale, reverse warrior, pendulum arms. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Here's the change. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, stretch that left leg. Exhale, Trikonasana, hand to shin, block or big toe. Inhale, reach to those top fingers. Exhale, half wrap. Roll that right shoulder back. Stay for a breath in. Keep this shape. Exhale, gaze to the floor. With or without a block, Ardha Chandrasana. Glide onto that left leg. Maybe you keep this half wrap. Maybe you bend that top knee and catch your foot. Wherever you are, full breath in. Exhale, supported warrior three. Inhale all the way into Utkatasana, feet together, knees bent, sit low, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for three. Slow breaths. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale. Exhale, two. Great time to listen to your energy. Any sensations, pulsations, vibrations. Take one more breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, rise to toes, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, fold, and let it go. Heel toe your feet, hip width apart. Soften your knees, grab onto your big toes in yogic toe lock. On an inhale, pull your chest forward, lengthen. On an exhale, pull your fingers into your toes and fold. Think of drawing your collarbones to the floor. At the same time, push into your heels and lift your sit bones to the ceiling. Relax your head and neck. Try and lift your shoulders up your back, away from your ears. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take one more breath in. Fold a little deeper as you exhale. Release your hands. If you have a block, place it on its lowest level outside your right foot. Soften your knees and unroll all the way up to stand. Inhale, one-legged mountain, left knee lifts, arms overhead. Exhale, Garudasana on the left. Left leg either double wraps, or if that block's there and you'd like to use it, kickstand your left toes on that block. Double wrap your left arm under, left leg over. Sit low in your hips, pick your elbows up. Option to stay right here or maybe hinge forward. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take one more breath in. Sit a little lower as you exhale. Keep these eagle arms. Inhale, one-legged mountain with eagle arms. Keep these eagle arms. Exhale, step your left foot back and set up here. Hips are square, legs are straight, heels are grounded, adjust as needed. As you inhale, lift your elbows, lift your heart. Exhale, Parvrita Trikonasana. Now that block is there. Left hand comes to the outside of your right foot. You can raise that block to any level if that's helpful. Pull your outer right hip back, top of head forward, and rotate your left ribs around and up. Anchor through that back heel. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release. Hands to the floor. Crawl them all the way around to the back of your mat. Low lunge, facing back. Drop your back knee. Bring your left hand to your left thigh. And just twist and look over your left shoulder. Gentle twist to the left. Option to stay right here. Or bend your back knee and catch the pinky toe side of that foot with your left hand. 3 breaths wherever you are. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release. Come back into a low lunge. Lift your back knee. We're going to crawl all the way around to the right, low lunge facing front. I want you to keep your hands planted. You might scooch them forward just an inch or so. We're going to work our legs into horizon lunge. So, with your hands grounded, see if you can start to spin all 10 toes to face the right side of your space. So, rolling to the outer edges of both feet. Try and keep your torso square, hands grounded, and then play around here. You can soften that left hip towards the floor, and then lift it back up, opening that right knee a little more. I'll give you a few breaths, maybe up and down with the hips, whatever feels good. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Come back through that low lunge. Crawl around to the left for a wide-legged forward fold. Toes in, heels out. You might take some sways in those hips. And when you're ready, reach down for your big toes in yogic tola. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale and fold. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take one more breath in. Fold a little deeper as you exhale. Release your hands, soften your knees. Take your time, rolling up to stand. Push off that back foot. Bring that back foot in to meet your right foot. Hands to heart center. Zip up through your inner thighs. Press down into your toes. Lift your heels off the floor. So rise to your toes. Try and keep your heels lifted. Bend your knees and come all the way down into a squat. Options. This might be where you stay. Maybe you start to work towards side crow. Left arm hooks to the outside of your right leg. Maybe you just work on that twist. Perhaps both hands come to the floor. You can bring that right hip to your right elbow and pull your weight towards your fingers to lighten up those feet. Wherever you are, breathe for 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in, maybe open mouth, exhale. Inhale, rise to toes, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold and stay. Heel toe your feet, hip width apart. Soften your knees as much as you need. Pada Hastasana, lift your feet. Slide your hands under your feet. Try and bring your toes to your wrist creases and push your toes into your wrist for a little wrist massage. Spread your fingers wide. Inhale, pull your chest forward. And on an exhale, think collarbones towards the floor. As you push down into your feet, think sit bones to the ceiling. Elbows bend out to the sides. Shoulders lift up your back away from your ears. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take one more breath in. Fold a little deeper as you exhale. Gently release your hands. If you have a block close by, place it on its lowest level to the outside of your left foot. Soften your knees and unroll up to stand. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Right knee lifts, arms overhead. Exhale, Garudasana on the right. Either double wrap that right leg over or kickstand right toes to the block. Double wrap right arm under. Sit low, lift your elbows. Maybe this is you. Maybe you hinge forward and fly. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take 1 more breath in. Sit a little lower as you exhale. Keep these eagle arms. Inhale, one-legged mountain with eagle arms. Keep these eagle arms. Exhale, step that right foot back and take a little time to organize your stance. Hips are square, legs are straight, heels are grounded. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your elbows. Exhale, Parvrita Trikonasana, right hand to the outside of your left foot. That block is there and can be lifted to any height. Pull your outer left hip back. Lengthen out the top of your head. 3 breaths. Inhale, ground through that back heel. Use your exhale to twist. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, release. Hands to the floor. Crawl all the way around to the right, all the way to the back of your mat. Low lunge and drop your back knee. Right hand to right thigh. Twist and look over your right shoulder. This might be where you stay. Maybe you bend your back knee and catch the pinky toe side of that foot with your right hand. Wherever you are, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, release. Low lunge, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. We're crawling all the way back around, low lunge facing front. Working into that grounded horizon lunge. Plant your hands down, maybe an inch or so more forward than your shoulders. Give yourself a little space, then start to turn all 10 toes to face the left side of your mat. You should be on the outer edges of both feet. Square your chest towards the top of your mat. And then yogi's choice, maybe dip those hips down and up, letting that right knee open, letting that left knee open, and that right hip stretch and open. Take what feels good. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Pivot through low lunge, crawl to the right into a wide-legged forward fold. Toes in, heels out, maybe take a couple sways. And then yogi's choice this time around. You can grab those big toes again, outer heels, maybe chest expansion, tripod headstand, wherever you are. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Take 1 more breath in. If you're in tripod, take your time. Full exhale. Release your arms, soften your knees, slowly roll up to stand. Push off your back foot, bring it in to meet your left foot, hands to heart center. Zip up to your inner thighs, push down into your toes to lift your heels. Keep those heels lifted. Bend your knees and work your way all the way down into a squat. And this might be where you stay. This is a nice stretch for those feet, a nice balance challenge. Or maybe you work towards side crow, right arm hooks to the outside of your left leg. This could be where you stay working on this twist. Hands might come to the floor. Left hip might land towards left elbow. Heart pulls forward to help shift forward to lighten up those feet. Wherever you are, breathe for 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Maybe open mouth. Exhale. Inhale, rise to toes, gaze past your hands. Exhale, bend your knees, jump your feet through, have a seat. And we'll set up for Gomu Kasana. I want you to bend your left knee on the bottom and try and stack your right knee on top. Now for me, it's helpful to scooch forward onto my hands a little bit. Take what you need here. Even out through your sit bones. Horizontally, you want your feet in one line. Try and adjust there. Sit up tall as you breathe in. This might be it. You might already feel this deep in those hips. If so, stay. If you're comfortable, exhale and fold. Great place to close your eyes and tune into that inner ear. Coming back to your intention. Back to your breath. After all of that movement, perhaps you can find a little joy in some stillness. Walk your hands back in and just keep it simple. Uncross those legs and swap them out. Right leg on the bottom, left knee stacks on top. Even out, weight through your sit bones, even out horizontally through those feet. Sit up tall, maybe stay. Take a breath in. Maybe exhale and fold. Where can you soften? It might be physical. It might be at your heart. Maybe you need to soften your attachment to the past, or soften your worry about the future. Start to make your way back up to sit. Stretch your legs out long, flex your feet. Sit up tall, take a big inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. If you're quite flexible and have a block, you might add that as an addition to your feet. And grab on and draw yourself in. Walk your sit bones back a little bit. Re-lengthen your heart forward. Great place to close your eyes. Roll up to sit. Roll all the way onto your back and into happy baby. So as you arrive, bend your knees. Flex your feet towards the ceiling. Grab for the outer edges of your feet. Pull your hands into your feet to help draw your knees towards the floor. Push your feet into your hands to help reach your lower back towards the floor. Take a few breaths here in stillness. And then if you'd like to add some rocks or maybe stretch one or both legs straight, go for it. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Let's take Garudasana in our legs. So try and find eagle on the right. See if you can double wrap your right leg over. If you can only wrap at the top, that's fine. Just crisscross at those inner thighs. Keep your knees in towards your chest and then let them fall to the left as you gaze to the right. That left hand might come to your legs for a little extra push. Heavy your right shoulder down. Inhale back through center. Uncross your legs and switch Garudasana on the left. Knees stay in close. Take them over to the right. Gaze to the left. Maybe that right hand encourages your legs to drop. Heavy into your left shoulder. Inhale your knees back to center. Unwrap your legs. Wrap your arms around your shins. Bring your forehead to your knees. Squeeze everything into a tight, tight ball. Take one last big, full, controlled breath in. And big sigh out. Exhale and set up for final rest. Savasana. Open your legs wide, arms wide. Drop into the earth. Let go of any control, any effort. This is your surrender. Let your body do what it does. It holds so much wisdom, so much intuition. Give it this moment to do what it does as you let go. Start to deepen your breath. Breathing all the way up and around your heart. Breathing all the way down to your fingertips and toe tips. Start to add some movement there. Wiggle your fingers and toes, your wrists and ankles. Turn your head side to side. Begin to open up your ears now to the sounds around you. Listening. Observing. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right. When you're ready, make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes, draw your hands to your heart. Remind yourself of your intention. The purpose of life is to listen to yourself, to your neighbor, to your world, to your God, and when time comes, to respond in as helpful a way as you can find, from within and without. Fred Rogers. The divine light in me bows to the divine light in you. Namaste.